So, what is going on, guys? Today we're going to be taking a look at the SH Figuarts Dragon Ball Z, Tenshinhan, and chaoz. Just in time for Dragon Ball Sparking Zero. You should have seen that coming, that there was going to be a review for it. But, I have a lot more interesting characters coming in this week, I think. Like, I have Full Power Broly, Super Saiyan Blue Gogeta, yeah, they probably would have been better, but Tien here is a weird one that I kind of wanted to review. If I'm not mistaken, he's Premium Bandai. Yay, meaning he's hard to get and expensive. If you live in Canada, you actually cannot get Premium Bandai. Fun fact, you can't. It's actually impossible. They don't ship to Canada anymore. So, yeah, I got him on eBay for the most amount I have paid for a singular figuart release. I have since paid quite a bit for a lot of 5 figures that involves the 2 I previously mentioned, but this is currently my most expensive I own by a mile. It's not close. Technically, it's 2, but at the same time, Jesus Christ alive. Anyway, there's the box. On the backs, we have Tien and chaoz. We have chaoz. We have Tien doing things. Side of the box stuff, he has heads blatantly in view. Yes, I know, a little crooked. That's fine. But that is the box. Inside of the box, we have 3 different heads for Tien. We have quite a few different hands for Tien. And possibly the scariest parts I have ever seen in my life. Look at them. They're chaoz's hands. And they are puny, puny little tiny itty-bitty hands. And getting this dynamic duo out of the box here. Here we have Tien and chaoz, which, why did I want this one? There's 2 versions of Tien, which are both quite expensive, which is a shame. I have to put him, like, all the way back. But Tien is a very expensive character. This is the Cell Saga version, and the reason I wanted this one and not the other one, which is a little bit cheaper, it's like $50 cheaper, it's because of chaoz. The other one technically comes with a chaoz, but it's a static figure, and it kind of sucks. This one here, while some might consider it an accessory part, is technically a figure, though a little haphazardly painted, I'm afraid, at least on my copy. And this is mint in box. This wasn't a prior owned figure. This was mine, like, instantly. Like, you can see on the armband there, it's like a little scuff. No idea. Like I said, it was my figure wholeheartedly. Nobody else owned it. It was mint in the mailer, sealed, mint condition. Like, as mint could be, and I think I just got unlucky, because I barely even touched this figure. That's the thing of this as well. I bought him and didn't play around with him, because at the time, I had 2 figuarts break, and I was like, I don't feel like breaking my most expensive one. Still don't feel like breaking my most expensive one. But little chaoz, he's nice. He's a little tiny guy. We're going to take a look at him a little bit more. But I consider that a little tiny figure. Possibly the smallest figuart ever. Tien is the main thing, though. He's the thing you're here for. Look at him and his beautiful bald head. He has a bit of like a little thing there. There we go. I got it. There's like a little black spot on his head. I don't know what that was. But there it is. And he looks great. Now, I like this version more. The other one is the shirtless one from the beginning of Dragon Ball Z, the Saiyan Saga. It's fine, but if I'm being honest, I much prefer this one with the kind of sash. I like that. This isn't my favorite version of Tien, though. My favorite version is actually Buu Saga Tien, where he just kind of shows up for 5 seconds and he hits him with, like, a tri-beam, and then he, like, dies because the planet explodes. I'm not joking. Like, that's all Tien does. He just disappears for a whole arc, and then there he is, and then he died. It's crazy. But things to note, again, another little swatch there on his wrist, which I just noticed. It's not really as noticeable as on chaoz, but it is there. That green paint does not like to hold, apparently, so that's iffy. This is luckily just red molded plastic, but it's just this green paint here. There's not a lot of green paint on them. It's mostly sculpted. Like, there's really not a ton. I'm going to guess the red's also painted. But as far as it goes, he does have his scar there on his right pec, which does continue onto the shoulder, which is a nice little detail, and that is obviously from Mercenary Tao, or General Tao. I call him Mercenary Tao, but only because in Dragon Ball he is Mercenary Tao. But in Dragon Ball Z, they randomly called him General Tao. I don't know why. No idea. But, I mean, design-wise, it's not much different from, like, everyone else, really. Like, it's basically the same for the most part. Like, you got this. It's more Piccolo than anyone else, though. It's actually a lot of Piccolo, except for, the difference is the top. But the legs, the whole, like, bottom half of the figure, other than the feet and these little yellow things here, all reminds me of Piccolo, but a little bit smaller. That's it. And, yeah, I mean, he looks good. Chaoz, he's good, too. We already kind of took a look at him. But he's good. He's mostly painted, though. So you gotta watch that. This whole, like, tank top is painted. His pants aren't painted, but this little bit of yellow down here is. His little tiny shoes. He's just a little guy, man. He's just a little tiny guy. Look how tiny he is next to Tien, who's a beefy boy. For some reason, he has trouble going in my large stand grips, and he's a human. It's not like a Broly or a Jiren where it's like, oh, he's just a big, beefy guy. He's just, like, the same size as everybody else, but he's just beefier for some reason. And that's them, so let's take a look at their accessories, starting with Chaoz, because he only has 4, so might as well. Fists. Just fists. Get them out of the way. Why not? And Chaoz's other accessories are a Ki Blast hand, or a levitation hand, and his little pointy finger beam. That's how I see it. Look at that. Is that not intimidating with his little smile? Yes, unfortunately, he does only come with the extra hands and nothing else. And just to do it now, because we're doing the accessories, his articulation, ball joint in the head. Really good ball joint in the head, actually. Like, stupid good. Forward and back. Outward is limited because ball joint in the arm. That's first. He does have an elbow joint, and he does have a bicep swivel. He does have dumbbell jointed hands. Remember in the Beerus review, if you watched that, where I said, oh, I only have one figure with dumbbell hands, and it's Jiren. Wrong. Chaoz does. He doesn't have a waist, forward and back. Outward, these little skirt things here move out of the way pretty easy. Knee joint. Quite the knee joint. Look at that. Where did it all come from? He has, like, extra knee in there. Look at that. Where did he get all that knee from? Why does he have such a... Like, I could have been fine with, like, a basic knee. Didn't have to give him a full double. Like, that's crazy. That's a crazy knee. And then he has a ball joint in the foot. A very tiny ball joint. So, scary little guy. I will not lie to you. He's a spooky, scary little man. Look at him. He's a little spooky, scary guy. Look at him. That's just Chaoz. There he is. Now let's talk about Tien. Fists. He has the 2 standard other hands as well, that being the open grip, which was terrifying to get on. That left hand does not like to come off. That was frightening. And a Ki Blast, because, you know, he's a Ki Blast hand. It's better off just showing 2 at a time, isn't it? Unless it's unique. Like, look at that. You know, just Ki Blast. There it is. Boom. Ki Blast. Boo, 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 boo. I'm too scared to put a left hand on him that isn't the next hand, so... Finger gun. I actually don't know what this is. I don't remember what this ability is. I don't remember. Tien's such a random character. Like, he's such a good character in Dragon Ball, and then much like everybody else that was in Dragon Ball that isn't Goku or Bulma and Krillin, he just gets absolutely annihilated in Z and forgotten about. Like, genuinely one of my favorite Dragon Ball characters. As soon as he gets to Z, he's just like, nah, he doesn't exist no more. Finger gun. That's what that... It's literally a perfect finger gun. I think it is a finger gun, right? Am I wrong in saying that he actually does use finger gun? Like, he Ki Blasts like that? Am I wrong? I think he might. I'm not sure. And finally, Kung Fu hands. But he has a dent in his thumb. I'm just kidding. They're actually his Tri-Beam Cannon. Hands. You gotta get his hands just right. Just right. So you can get that perfect Tri-Beam pose going here. Tri-Beam Cannon. It's perfect. It's good. It's great. It's weird that they have the peg together, though, because they don't really ever stay. But it's there. You can do Tri-Beam. Tri-Beam. Pew! Anyway, that's them hands. And we're just going to keep them on. Because why not? Well, we talk about the head sculpts. First up, basic neutral Tien. He's bald. He has the eyeball. He fell over. He's just a Dragon Ball character with a bald head and an extra eyeball. Is this an extra eyeball? Like, does he have 3 eyes? Or is it painted on? Or, like, what is up with that? Because it doesn't blink. I know that. Which is weird. And the next thing to note, before we swap heads, is he has the little thingies. Like, he has the little thingies like Jiren had. But his are even weirder. He doesn't have, like, the bit that comes out and swaps. His is just on a pull tab for, like, no reason. There's no reason. Like, it's not even... there's no reason to it. It just is on a pull tab. Like, it just goes on and off. It's strange. He also has another scary head joint because it's a hand joint. Angry Tien up next. Look at that. Very angry. Very nice. Jeez Louise, man. I'm actually just going to put this on because I actually use that. that's the head I use in when I put him on the display. Is I do use the angry head. I do use that one. Next up, we have Smirking Tien. It's not teeth grit, really. It's kind of like a... I don't know. It looks like a smile sometimes, and then it looks like a teeth grit. It's weird. It's a teeth grit, but not really at the same time. It's kind of creepy, honestly, but it's a pretty alright head. And then we have Freaked Out Tien. He has a little sweat droplet going down that side of his face, and he just looks concerned. Like, oh no. He's very concerned looking Tien. And that's his accessories. No effect parts, which is a bit of a shame, but I guess he comes with like a second figure, so it's not really a problem now, is it? So, slight problem for Tien's articulation. I forgot I put his neutral head on the thingy. So, I hope you do not mind yelling tenshinhan throughout the posing segment. Ball joint in the head, and a very nice neck joint as well that actually functions. Sometimes they don't. Very good. Forward and back, outward, and a bit more restrictive on the left than the right, but mostly because there's the sleeve part on the left. There is a bicep swivel, a nice double elbow, of course. Rotation at the wrist along with the hinge. Does have the typical waist restrictions, but it's still kind of there. Forward and back, very good. Probably the best 2.0 hip setup I think I've seen. I'm pretty sure it's 2.0. It looks just like the Goku, but it actually moves. Pretty good. Knee joint is a double, but it doesn't go very far. Unfortunately, he does have that. We have a toe bend as well. And yeah, he basically is box standard articulation, man. Anyway, that's Tien. So let's just get to my final thoughts on him. While screaming. And Chiaotzu, he's over here. So for Tien and Chiaotzu here, I hope you don't mind those once you can see them after the pictures. He is a pretty intriguing figure. I mean, he is really good. Do I regret spending the amount I spent on him? Kind of. Doesn't help, like, 3 weeks later, another one appeared for, like, $60 less, and I went, damn it. And that was it. I basically went, oh, well, I already have mine, but mine was, like, better condition. It wasn't opened. It was mine. Full on my figure. That's it. No one else opened this thing but me. So that's nice. And it's just a really good time. Like, this is a good figure. He has pretty good accessories. He's missing an effect part, really. That's it. Like I said, Premium Bandai, I would expect it. But the problem with this guy is asking for an effect part's a little too much, because he comes with Chiaotzu, and Chiaotzu's a figure, and he was only a basic price point for a Premium Bandai figure. It's not like you were getting 2. You were getting a figure and a half for the price of 1. You get Chiaotzu. This is the only Chiaotzu from Figuarts that is available that is posable. Like I said, the other one's a weird statue. It looks exactly like this, but it also has a crying face, because it's when he's going to blow Nappa up, and then he just fails, and then he dies horrifically. But, yeah, that's it. That's literally them. I think they're good. Are they worth their price of admission? Not really, but the problem with Tien is, yeah, he's Premium Bandai twice. This guy has Ratchet syndrome. For those who don't know what I'm talking about. In Transformers, for a while, Ratchet was a kind of strange one. For a good couple of years running, they kept making him an exclusive for some reason, and then they just, one day they did release one, finally, at retail, but for a good, 4 years when they started doing G1 again, Ratchet was a GameStop and then an Amazon exclusive, and then became super sought after and rare, and he was expensive. And guess who else is sought after and rare and expensive? But he's Premium Bandai, meaning he probably won't get a re-release ever again. That's the problem with Premium Bandai, is they're not general release figures, so they don't get re-released after so many years most of the time. It sucks. It does. This video went for a while because there's technically 2 figures to look at, but that is besides the point. As far as it goes for a rating, I'm going to give him a 4. He does come with a lot of stuff. Chaoz doesn't let me down. He's a nice little guy. Kind of wish he had some other heads, maybe, but I could have did without one of the Tien heads. But I'll take little Chaoz as he is. It's pretty. What is Chaoz? Is he just an actual dude? Why is he so tiny? And, why does he look like that? Why does he look like a mime? What is his deal? Has anyone ever thought to ask, what is Chaoz's deal? Is he an alien? What is Chaoz? But that is it for this review of SH Figuarts Tenshinhan and Chaoz. This has been Delete signing out.